love it. This one.
Hello and welcome back to Incognito TV. We're doing an unscheduled stream to continue on in our week of macro. This week we are focusing on improving our macro play, and we are now on step 4 of the staircase method and hanging out somewhere in the top 20 or so of the Gold League. Briefly hit top 8 yesterday while doing step 3, which was quite nice. First time for me, so I was pretty pumped about that, and what I'd like to do is stabilize in the top 8 here by the end of the week so that we can make a push for platinum by the end of the season. Those are the goals, and I've been doing things very deliberately to try to meet those goals and continue our progress. So we've got about 3 passes and 1 fail on step 4. We've put together a bit of a build order, and we found that it's pretty effective and fairly stable. Basically, we're going for 5 barracks and a factory and a starport. Eventually, we'll have 2 engineering bays and an armory, 3 gas, and we've structured the build to focus on that macro-heavy marine style very early on, and then transition into lots of upgrades and medevacs. And we've picked up some wins. We've lost some games as well. You got to keep in mind when you're laddering, whether you're doing the staircase method of practice on the ladder or you're just laddering to ladder, the matchmaking system is generally going to put you up against an opponent it believes will beat you half of the time. So we can't be too salty about our losses in general. However, we do want to be critical of our play so that we can identify opportunities to win. And the cool thing about the staircase method and its graduated approach is that each step has something new to learn. And it's not exactly obvious through the method, because the method is so focused on the macro side. But with each step, there's new complexity. And that complexity, yes, makes it more difficult to macro, because you're thinking about what unit do I build now? You know, how am I going to compose my army? Things like that. There's more stuff to build. You got to think about timing your NG bays when you get to the gas phase and all of that. But the subtlety is in how do I maximize what I am allowed to use at this step to increase my chances of winning while also meeting the goals for the macro metrics. And we're using ggtracker.com to measure that. But these little subtle things are actually huge learning opportunities, and we've latched on to that concept. And yesterday we went through the process of creating a build for step 3 during our Cheap Love show. And today, earlier, we went through the process of creating a build for step 4 while doing Brain and Body. And now we're just going to take what we've learned and start applying that the best we can in some ladder games and try to continue to beat down these steps in the method. All right? And hopefully along the way, outside of just getting our mechanics in line, we'll also be picking up a win here and there and improving our rank, which is, you know, subordinate to improving our mechanics. Whew. It has been quite a day. I ended up crashing out on the couch while watching Stargate SG-1, which, you know, I kind of feel like that is the Stargate TV show. I watched a little bit of Atlantis, and I don't know, it just didn't hold me the way that SG-1 did. And Universe, while it was a novel concept, I just could not get into that show at all. At all. So we're talking about Stargate. Yeah, and does it hold up is a question that I often ask, but I keep watching it. I mean, I watched the show when I was a lad, and I still watch it, much like I still watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I mean, the thing that I like about Stargate is that it has these continuing storylines. I don't like shows that are just like, here's an episode for the sake of an episode. The only show like that I really, really like is TNG, which the vast majority are just standalone episodes. But that's kind of the exception in my taste for television. I like thick plot that continues on over time. And I love living in the age where Netflix is a thing, because then, if you've got a couple of hours to burn on TV, you can just keep the story going. And it'd be more like a movie than a television show. I rarely have that time anymore because I'm always trying to do stuff, crazy things, like streaming StarCraft and trying to get people aware of the power of macro, like we're doing right now. Trying to bring to light some of the areas as a community that we can improve in interacting with new or underskilled players. One of which is actually putting their attention toward the thing that matters the most early on in their development. Like myself, I've identified that macro is the thing, and then from there I can take my skill development in any direction I want based on the play style that I choose. And right now, it's just basically, I don't have a play style. It's an interesting thing. I was talking about that with Goblin Juggler last night, actually. Playing against me is not an experience of a play style. It's very mechanical in a way. And my response was, yes, that's totally true. And also, I don't have the mechanics to have a play style yet. So we're working on that. And we're doing step 4 of the staircase method. I want to make sure my notes are ready to go. Okay, we are totally ready to go, so let's go ahead and get back in there and work on our macro, and I'll talk through what I'm doing. I've put together a build just for this purpose. I find that once gas gets involved, it helps to have some kind of structure or some kind of plan, or a build order, if you will, to approach the spending decisions. And we've selected the medevac as our battle unit. I can't imagine choosing any other of the battle units over the medevac, so I've just said that is my battle unit. I don't suppose I could identify anything. Excuse me. I don't suppose I could identify anything that would make me change my mind about that. So here we go. We found ourselves an opponent, and we're going to do a little TVT. And we're going to have to be incredibly aggressive, especially on this map, to have any chance of survival. Because we do not have siege tanks. So we're going to have to rely on Marines, Hellbats, and Medevacs, and our upgrades, and our timing, and our macro to win this game, which is going to be quite difficult. It will be a challenge in and of itself, but our primary focus will be on hitting the metrics and getting our macro cranking. Alright, good luck, have fun. Thank you for playing. Quidomen. I wonder what that's all about.
SCV ready.
And somehow I keep messing up my camera. There we go. Perfect. Alright, there it is. We're going to do some things that look relatively standard, although not nearly as optimized as the standard builds. We're going to be taking a barracks at 12, and then we're going to be going to orbital command at around 15. Unfortunately, it's not optimized, so there's a little bit of a delay between the barracks and the orbital, but these are the things that we must try to figure out for ourselves while working within the constraints of the staircase method. And it's been a lot of fun. I've never really sat down and worked out a build order for myself, especially not with having, very, very specific objectives with all these limitations in place. And I have found it to be an incredibly beneficial experience in terms of understanding the game and understanding the economy, and I like it a lot. I would encourage you to do the same thing whether you're staircasing or not. Do anything random, like pick a thing. Say you want to do a Marine Hellbat push or a Marine Hellion push or whatever. Just pick some stuff and start experimenting in a custom game with timing your gas and your upgrades and see what you can create and go find out if it's effective. Chances are it won't be, but that's cool because then you get all kinds of data and you can make adjustments. We went through several iterations before we landed on the build order that we did. Alright, and now that we were getting our orbital morphed, we're going to start floating out some minerales so we can get our second command center rocking and rolling and getting all them minerals. Because who doesn't want all the minerals?
Upgrade complete.
Alright, so we're going to continue our marine production and our SCV production and drop in our mules, which looks like we're a little bit late on that. Hopefully it won't adversely affect our metrics. We're going to keep marine production and SCV production going, and then when we have enough money, we'll take our second barracks and our refinery. There it is. Right, we are playing a TVT, so I do need to be conscious of this little jump-in spot there. And we're going to build a supply depot and more SCVs and more Marines.
Not enough minerals.
Well, let's make sure we get this saturated on time. Alright, so we're going to get a little bit premature, but, you know, premature isn't always a bad thing in relationship to other things that might go wrong. Alright, there we go. And we're going to drop another mule. Check on our supply. Alright, so there's that third barracks, and we're going to get our engineering bay. Morph our orbital. Keep up that production.
Not enough minerals.
Well, that looks like something got shot at there. It's probably a Reaper. Keep up the SCV production, prioritizing it all the time, and we're going to get ourselves up to 5 barracks. Wait for our minerals and get our upgrade. There it is. Keep the SCV production going. And now we're going to take our second base, drop our mules as soon as it lands,
Not enough minerals.
and keep the supply depot train a-rolling as well. I'm going to look on the mini-map to try to understand when our expansion is going to be near its location, so we can get our mules out on time.
Go ahead. SCV ready. You gonna give me orders? Who wants some?
Alright, a little Reaper harass never hurt anybody.
Not
That's a
enough
false
energy.
statement.
Not enough energy.
Alright, it looks like we've cleaned that up. Yes, we have.
By the numbers, been waiting.
So now is a great time for us to go get out on the map and get some damage done
SCV ready.
for ourselves. Alright, how many barracks do we have? We have 4, so let's get another.
Roger.
And factory.
Gangway. Coming through.
Keep that production rolling. And make sure that we've got all of our command centers in a control group. Oh my. So my saturation speed, because of that little faux pas, is going to be a bit wrong. Hopefully not out of the realm of getting work done.
SCV ready.
We got to figure out where our opponent is located. It should either be there or here.
SCV ready. You gonna give me orders?
Alright, there we go.
Additional supply depots
Get our
required.
next upgrade.
Additional supply depots required.
Fix the fact that we forgot about managing our supply. And
Big job, huh?
let's see. We're going to be able to get
Additional supply depots required.
our armory. And
Could use some help here.
second engineering bay.
Sir.
Alright, well, we know where our opponent is at now, so we're going to go there
Armed
and try to get some work done. We're going to get ourselves another command center and starport, a reactor, second refinery, and make sure our control groups are all working properly. Keep that SCV production going. Alright, we got ourselves a little behind, so we're going to help ourselves out with the supply and get more SCVs working the line.
Bad news.
Alright, now we're going to rally off all that stuff this way and add on more barracks.
I can't build here.
How are we doing? We are
Best we can.
getting close.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Okay.
SCV ready.
Well, that's a thing that I did not prepare for. And so, okay, let's get up here. Let's get some work done.
What's up?
Here's some Marines. Let's go shoot that thing.
You gonna give me orders? Been waiting on you.
There we go. Awesome. Let's reset our rally because we don't need these guys in the base anymore. There we go. And we're going to push our advantage. Oh, all the way up, guys.
Upgrade
Alright,
complete.
so that's one of the rough spots of dealing with this sort of thing. And let's get some more barracks happening.
Not enough minerals.
Oh, not enough minerals. Okay. More for that. Cool. And we want to follow up with an attack relatively quickly.
Not enough minerals.
Because, oh, they're moving across the map. This is even better. Okay, we need to get our starport going. There we are. We've got gas banking up,
Not enough.
so we
Upgrade
need some
complete.
minerals happening.
We could use some help here. SCV ready.
All right. There's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. So let's do what we can.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go, go, go.
Mineral field
Alright.
depleted.
let's get these guys out of harm's way
In the rear.
and try to deal as best we can with what's happening. It's going to be difficult.
Our SCVs are under attack.
All right.
You gonna give me orders?
Oh, missed the cancel. That's all right.
Not enough
This
minerals.
better be good.
We're down to one base. We took out their second as well.
Ready.
All right. I'm just trying to delay the inevitable a little bit.
Gotcha.
Not enough minerals.
Gangway. Coming through. You want a piece of me, boy?
And they're like thinking to themselves, "Why aren't you building tanks?
Not enough minerals.
You fool!"
Ready for dust off. Where's the...
Mineral field depleted.
This better be good.
And let's build more stuff.
Coming through.
All
Not
right.
enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
We are running out of minerals. This is going to be super rough.
Not enough.
Want some?
Not enough minerals.
All right. So, how are we going to handle this? Let's take a group of these. Oh, that's a problem. They've got... Let's go this way.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Waiting on you.
We could use some help here. By the numbers.
Keep that production.
Talk to me. Here's your stop.
This way.
Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Not enough minerals.
Trying to do what we can.
Upgrade complete. Not enough minerals.
Make the most out of the
Not enough
situation,
minerals.
even though it's really dire. It's super dire. Oh, there's still a surviving tank. Oh, that was close. No cigar.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Not enough minerals.
Alright, we are fast out of options.
Been waiting on you.
Oh, those Vikings giving the vision. Alright, GG.
Mineral field.
Ready for dust off.
These things, they happen. We tried to make the most of it with a little Hellbat drop. Didn't quite get enough done. And that's fine. What we're really concerned about is if we hit our numbers, and so we're going to upload a replay to ggtracker.com and take a look and see what we did. I have a feeling that my saturation speed was bad on my natural. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, spending skill was below our marker. We'll just pull this up so we can all see. Our goal is platinum or above, and, well, gold just isn't cutting it. Alright. And actually our saturation speeds were fine. Okay, so my feeling of doom was a little misplaced. It was in the wrong area. Alright, so that's going to put us down for our second fail to 3 passes. Alright, let's keep on it trucking. We are doing the practice. We're not getting hung up on whether we win or lose. We're trying to make sure that we are focused on practicing the macro. And the staircase method is a great way to do that. It's also a lot of fun and gives you good opportunities to learn stuff along the way. Alright, so we've put together a build specifically for this step, which I anticipate having to do up until a certain, once we have a certain level of access to what's called the battle units within the method. At that point, when there's enough, like for example, once we have Marines and Marauders and Medevacs, well, then we can start to use lots of the standard builds that are already out there. But in the meantime, we're architecting around the macro play style itself. You can see there in that game, I went for a really early Marine push, took out an expansion. Wasn't able to deal with the one base tank play. Very nearly did as far as holding my main, but wasn't going well. Alright, we got TVP on Overgrowth. Thank you for playing. And I anticipate lots of splash damage, just totally destroying me, but we'll see what we can pull off. We'll see what we can pull off. And again, the focus is not on winning or losing the game, but making sure that we're hitting our metrics
Not enough minerals.
and making progress toward our goals as far as our macro skill is concerned. Alright, try to get ourselves in the right frame of mind. Nice and relaxed. Silence.
SCV ready. Go ahead. SCV ready.
Oh.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Having a little fun in
Not enough
chat.
minerals.
SCV ready.
Now I feel super compelled to make this work
SCV ready.
Alright, where are we at? We're almost ready for our orbital.
SCV ready.
And he's not going to get a Reaper. And he's going to be like, okay, what's going on? And then things are going to get wonky. And then I'm going to die to lots of splash damage.
SCV ready.
Alright, there's that late orbital. It's happening. Thought I already hit the button, but I guess I didn't. I think I was having too much fun with my friendly opponent. And we're going to go ahead and take our second base now. There it is. Alright,
Not enough minerals.
bam. It's happening.
Upgrade complete.
It's this sort of opponent that I feel like is going to be really confused by what is going on in this game, and that makes me even all the more happier.
What's up?
And we're going to drop our mule. And keep our production a-rolling.
Gotcha. SCV ready.
Oh my goodness!
Big job.
Okay, we need a third barracks. I'm getting distracted. This is going to bode poorly. Here we go.
SCV ready. You want a piece of
We're going to show him some units. We will show him units.
Not enough minerals.
And we're going to drop mules and get our orbital. There we go. No idea what's going on outside of my base, and that is a wonderful feeling. Here we go. +1 is on the way. Okay. What's next? More barracks? Yes, indeed.
Not enough
All right.
minerals.
There we go.
SCV ready. Go, go, go.
Upgrade complete.
The units, they're coming. Don't worry, guy. Don't worry. Don't worry at all.
SCV ready.
All right.
Armed and ready.
Cool. Almost have enough gas for our factory.
Gangway.
So that's what we're going to do.
I'm going.
There it is. And we're going to transfer some workers on over. And get all of our mules dropping over here.
This better be good.
And that feeling when you don't have... It's going to happen. Alright. Factory is en route.
Additional supply depots required.
And we're going to add on another barracks, of course.
Additional supply. Not enough minerals.
Alright, and it's time.
Been waiting on you.
Game paused.
Oh, the ladder. Oh, the ladder. I love it. I do.
Game resumed.
Here we
Additional
go.
supply depots required.
Let's get that supply rolling. And, well, why not? Why not do that? Alright.
Our SCVs are under attack.
By the numbers. Who wants some?
Base is under attack.
SCV ready. Big job.
Our SCVs
There we go.
are under attack. Upgrade complete. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Gangway, coming through. We could use some help here.
Not enough minerals.
Of course. SCV ready. Yeah.
Not
Successfully
enough minerals.
containing. That's a nice play.
Go ahead.
Digging it. Alright, there we go.
Not enough minerals.
And what do we need to be happening right now? Well, we need
Not enough minerals.
minerals.
Not enough energy.
And we need to go. We need to get out on the map.
Oh, yeah.
There, there. Alright, cool. Sweet. Alright. Where are we at with our build? Well, we don't have a lot of gas income right now.
Ready.
So we're going to get some workers on gas.
Yep.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. SCV ready. Who wants some?
Sweet, here we are. No expansion from our opponent. Cool.
Better be good.
And we need
We could use some help here.
that armory. Alright, cool.
Big job. I can't build here.
Upgrade complete.
Gangway.
Not enough minerals.
Sweet. Alright, let's go.
Who wants you? This better be good.
We've got photon overcharge activated, so we're just going to hang tight for a second and make sure that our macro is on point. And I really don't feel like things are in too bad of a
Not
spot
enough
for us,
minerals.
except for our mineral situation is a little bit bogus. We got warp gates that are active over there, so hopefully our reinforcements show up sooner rather than later.
Not enough minerals.
We are all in. Oh, there goes those stalkers. Fall back.
By the number.
Not enough minerals.
Gangway. Coming through.
Don't want to trade. I want to do damage.
This better be good. Go, go, go.
All right. Making it happen.
Additional supply depots required.
In the rear.
Additional supply depots required.
Oh, falling off on supply.
Locked.
Oh, a little mouse click issue. There we go.
Additional supply depots required. Base is under attack.
We could use some help here. Armed and ready. Who wants some? Gangway. Coming through. Go, go, go.
Our SCVs are under attack.
We could use some help here.
Our SCVs are under attack.
And ready.
Not enough minerals.
We could use some help here. Gangway. Coming through. Who wants some? Go, go, go.
Not enough minerals.
You want a piece of me, boy? Gangway. Coming through.
Not enough energy. Not enough minerals.
Go, go, go.
All right. Just trying to wrap this up.
This better be good. You want a piece of me, boy? SCV ready. Armed and ready.
Not enough minerals.
Who
GG. More units? I'll build more units. I will build more units. Thank you, Natus303. Alright. Whew. Let's go check our metrics. Oh, that was entertaining. Ah, yes. The one base Oracle play for the win. I mean, wait a minute. Not for the win. Not that time. Not that time. Okay, here we go. Let's pull it up in the browser and let's see if we got ourselves another pass. Our spending skill was great. And, oh, our saturation speeds were horrible from the Oracle harass. Oh, no. Oh, no. So we basically evened ourselves up again on pass fails. And we're just going to go ahead and draw a line and start the count over again to make it simpler for us. All right. Whew. That was an exciting game. Incredibly entertaining. I think it's hilarious. My opponent was egging me on to build more units, and that's exactly what I was planning to do to begin with. Made it happen, pulled out the victory. Unfortunately, did not get the pass, but, you know. Oh, 1 second here. Communications. It's that age we live in. Yay. Friend of ours got a thing and stuff. It's nice. Alright, cool. Sorry, we're just streaming and doing things. It happens. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's keep on a rolling here. I think I've got another 20 minutes or so left in me for today before I've got to think about doing other things. So let's get it on and let's pick up some more macro practice. It is the week of macro this week, and excuse me. And we are on step 4 of the staircase method. And look at that, 48 APM taking down that 76 APM. By the power of macro. Alright, here we go, another TVP. We're on merry-go-round. Thank you for playing Peter Pouch. Pock. Peter Pock. I'm going with Peter Pock. That sounds fun. Alright. So let's see what we can make happen. This is a wonky sort of step for this matchup because Marauders are not a thing. I've chosen the Medevac as my battle unit. That might be a bad decision for this matchup, but ooh, what do we say we just mix things up? No, let's not. Let's not. We'll save that for tomorrow. We'll save that for tomorrow. And yes, I am going to stream tomorrow. Oh, boy, that last match was so entertaining. I mean, if I do say so myself. Alright, so we're doing step 4 of the staircase. I've put together a little
Not enough minerals.
basic build for it so that I've got, you know, at least some structure and objectives in how I'm going to spend the gas now that we've introduced gas to the equation. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Supply depot. Oh, look at that. Woo! Alright, we're going to take a barracks at 12 and orbital command at 15. And we're going to have some fun cranking out Marines and upgrades, and eventually we'll have medevacs and it'll be woo. That's what it'll be. All right, here we go.
Not enough minerals. Not enough
Let's get
minerals.
that first barracks
Not
on
enough
down.
minerals.
I can't build here.
Bam, right there.
Not enough minerals.
ready.
All right, and then at 15, we're going to take the orbital. There's going to be a little delay between the barracks and the orbital, but I don't think that we can correct that with this particular thing that's happening. I've thought about delaying it to 17, but it seems that that blows my my first base saturation speed because the mule is just so awesome. It's so mule. It's not a fan. It is two R9 290s that are just cranking like mammer jammers, and haven't been able to control that very well. I've got this fan set on dynamic speed, so they react to the temperature. Try to keep them as low as possible. Before the next stream, I'll take a look at it again, see if I can't get it in order
Bad news.
to reduce that a
What's
bit.
going on?
Thank you for pointing that out. Was enabled. I appreciate knowing things like that. Try to improve the quality of the stream all the time.
Not enough minerals.
So we're on step 4 now of the staircase method, and we've put together a little build to help us get through it, help us direct our effort in spending the gas.
In the rear with SCV ready.
So we're taking our second barracks now, and we're also going to get our first refinery at this time, and keep up our SCV and marine production in the meanwhile.
Not enough minerals.
Alright, cool. So, we're going to get our third barracks as soon as we can afford
Not
it.
enough minerals.
And at about that time, we'll also be getting
This better be good.
our engineering bay. It should be happening rather shortly. Alright, like right about now. And right about now.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Alright, cool. So we're going to get our mules dropping, and as soon as we got the money for the next orbital, we're going to do that as well. Which should be now. Alright,
Not enough minerals.
go and keep that marine production going. We want to be able to have our spending skill nice and locked in. How are we doing on supply? We're fine on supply. Cool.
SCV ready.
Alright. And there we go. We lined it up pretty well. Not totally optimized, but pretty close. Pretty close.
Upgrade complete.
Now we're going to take our second. Rally out this way. Get our Marines grouped up. Go down here. Transfer a few workers. Make sure our saturation speed is hot and heavy. And whoop. Misclick. Misclick. Oh no. So many misclicks. There we go. We're getting our fourth barracks, and we're going to correct that. Alright, cool. Drop our mules here, which we were a little bit late on.
Go, go, go.
Alright, and where are we at with barracks? We need...
SCV ready.
we need one more barracks, which we're able to do that now. Cool, and...
SCV ready.
now we can afford our factory, so we're going to do that. As soon as we have the gas for the armory, we're going to try to get that down too. Alright, so now is when we're going to go out onto the map. We're going to be aggressive with these early Marines, otherwise they're pointless. Totally pointless. And we forgot
Depots required.
about setting our rally. And also building supply depots. There we go.
Yep.
And we have enough gas? Just about. Well, we gotta wait for the factory.
Additional supply depots required.
Alright, we're gonna help ourselves out, catch ourselves up a little bit,
Go ahead.
build another barracks. Alright. Marines, SCVs. Now we need to figure out where our opponent's located. There we go. We'll just send these guys off. And hang out here in the meantime.
Upgrade complete.
Armed and ready.
Cool. So now we're going to get our armory
I can't build here.
and our second engineering bay
Build here.
and our second refinery.
Some help here.
Alright, that's where the base is. Let's see if we can't cut this off
SCV ready.
and get the jump on our opponent.
Gonna give me orders?
Get our upgrades. There we go. Well, I thought they were moving out, but I guess not. Alright. Take out that immortal. And then get on out of here. See if we can't salvage some of these guys. Alright, cool. Awesome. Let's get our medevacs going. We're a little bit late on that, I feel. And saturate our other gas. Here we go.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
And stay on top of supply.
And ready.
Cool. Alright. So we've chosen the medevac as our battle unit. So we don't have marauders. And that's a bit of a pain in a TVP. But, you know, we're going to do the best we can with what we're working with.
SCV ready.
And we're going to try to macro like a beast. Get our third happening. It's a little premature, but that's alright.
SCV ready.
Here we go. Let's get our double medevac production rolling. And we've got just about enough gas to make that happen. And we're going to be a little bit behind on supply again. So we're going to help ourselves out with a supplementary SCV and get those medevacs. We're also going to start to...
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Alright, there we go.
Supply depots required.
And there we go. Getting that supply going. That's what we're trying to do.
You want a piece of me?
Alright.
Complete.
Do we have a tech lab? Yeah, we got tech labs. We're gonna get some stim.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
And we're gonna get a third refinery, which is a little bit late again.
SCV ready.
Add-on.
As soon as we got medevacs, we are gonna go back out onto the map.
Add-on.
Ready for dust off.
Insufficient
Right there.
Vespene gas.
And get that orbital rolling.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Armed and ready.
And we're going to go ahead and get a fourth refinery. Cool. Alright. Get some more reactors.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Who wants some?
Insufficient Vespene gas.
And we're kind of stockpiling a bit on the minerals right now, which is a bit of a problem.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, but now we can take our third. And let's get this moving
Mineral
here.
field depleted.
We've got lots of Marines.
This better be good.
Alright, all those Guardian shields are being quite helpful. But it's not going to be enough, dude. It's not going to be enough.
Armed and ready. How's that for whoop-ass?
Mineral field
Alright,
depleted.
cool.
I'm on it.
So we're going to rally out to in a place that where we can defend this base easily. And we're going to continue to push that attack once we've taken care of some of our macro here. And get our next
Insufficient
wave of
Vespene gas.
upgrades.
Insufficient Vespene gas. Not enough minerals.
Alright, let's go.
Additional supply depots.
Making it happen.
PCB boy.
And clean up our control group.
By the numbers, boys.
Research complete.
Armed and ready.
Cool, here we
Additional
go.
supply depots required.
Hellbat coming through.
And keep that macro
Mess.
rolling.
Where's the emergency? Waiting on you.
SCV ready.
There we go. This army's going to go down, and that's alright. Not too concerned about it. Going to add in some meat shields into the mix. Stim this all out. Try to do some econ damage. Focus down this Nexus and keep the spending happening. Get in the medevac and get the heck out.
Additional supply depots required.
Ready for
Gateway,
dust-off.
coming through.
Talk to me.
Additional supply depots required.
Drop down. Oh man, that was bad. Alright.
Ready for dust-off.
Depots required.
And we lost track of things like supply and all of that funness.
You gonna give me orders?
Mineral field. Additional
And we are
supply-
really floating hard.
Additional supply depots.
So we're going to try to get that under control. Build some supply depots. Get that back under control.
Additional supply depots required.
Alright, let's go.
Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
Try to get our macro situation sorted back out. Alright, trying to move quickly between the tasks.
Who wants some? Armed and ready.
Be nice if those Hellbats were up front. That's a little thing I can work on in my micro. And just keep up the production and that spending.
Ready for dust-off.
Armed and ready.
There we go. Fix our camera because we've got lots more army to follow this up with.
Hell that.
Alright, cool.
Piece of me, boy.
Now we really do need to have another base coming down and some more production. So we're going to do that and start our next set of upgrades.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Alright, cool.
Ready for dust-off.
Mineral field complete.
Keep the production going.
Hell that.
Alright. Let's get these Hellbats in their at least their own control group so that we can control them a little better. Alright, cool. You guys, you're gonna go off over here.
That's fine.
Alright. Let's see if we can't just end this game.
Ready for dust-off.
Got any extra firepower?
There we go, GG. Now the important part is if we hit our numbers or not. It's floating quite a bit there toward the end, so I'm not quite sure if we did. Only one way to find out, and that's to get the upload and see where we landed. Alright, merry-go-round. Yep, that's the game. And let's find out. We basically reset our count on step 4. And we need to get ourselves some passes. Alright. Cool. Oh, my opponent was actually quite good with their spending as well. And thank you, Natus, for the GG. Here we go. Okay. So we're looking at the staircase view in ggtracker.com. You can enable that right here. And our goals are platinum or above. So spending here is, I guess that's low master. Spending skill was good. Now the real question is saturation speeds. Those were all good as well. Awesome. Sweet. So we can mark that down as a pass because they were all above platinum level, which is my target. And that is all good. Let's see if there's anything else in this information that we can learn from. Make sure our energy use is at 100%. Yes indeed. So that was good. Which color am I? I'm the blue one. Our opponent got up to 4th base, so sooner than we did. That's interesting. We gather about the same number of resources. Alright. Although my income was higher in spikes. Interesting stuff. Point is that we got one pass down for step 4 now. We just need 3 more and we can move on. I think I got it in me for at least another match. I'd like to see if I can't get another pass under my belt before signing off for the day and going about the rest of the business I have. So let's do it. Let's do it. This is the week of macro. We've powered through step 3. We're trying to power through step 4, but it's taken a little longer. Yesterday on Cheap Love, we put together a build order specifically for step 3. That was a lot of fun and it was really educational. And today we made some tweaks for a build order for step 4. And now we've got ourselves a TVT on Catalina. And I've got to win this game before tanks can make or break it. That's the idea here. Otherwise, there's no winning. But that's not exactly the point anyway. So let's not get too hung up on it. But the cool thing is that we can learn how to maximize the given units and the battle units that we've selected for any given step. We can learn to use them the most effectively that we can. We can try to make the most out of our timings. All of that stuff is still relevant and worth paying attention to. And this is a really great format for exposing those opportunities, right? Because I can only build Marines, Hellions, and Medevacs right now. I chose the Medevac as my battle unit. I thought it a superior option to any of the other units that I could have selected. I can't imagine a scenario where I'd want some other unit rather than a Medevac. I think a case could be made for Marauders,
Not enough minerals.
and that's
Not
probably
enough
about
minerals.
it. Alright, so we're going to take our orbital command at 15. It's not going to be totally lined up with the barracks being done because you don't have that nice little delay of building the refinery at 12 like you do in a Reaper Fast Expand. So there's just going to be a little less than optimal sort of thing happening, but that's fine. That's fine. So after our orbital, we're going to be going for an expansion, and we're going to be getting our first geyser when we take our second barracks, and we're going to be taking our engineering bay when we build our third barracks, or around about that time. See, just not quite optimized. We have to wait for the barracks a little longer than what we're used to. Drop down a walling off supply depot and a Marine. It's TVT, so I'm going to actually try to get 2 Marines out in case we've got a Reaper opening, especially if it's a mass Reaper opening. We're pretty vulnerable to that because of the fastness of our expansion. So now we're going to be taking,
Upgrade.
bam, our second base and dropping our mule.
What's going on?
So there's the second Marines coming out. There we go. We're going to put this worker out here too. And continue to build SCVs. And when we can afford our second barracks, which is now, we're going to do that. And we're going to get our
Not
refinery
enough minerals.
right now as well.
Not enough minerals.
Alright. We've got multiple paths that a Reaper could come in. So we don't want to overload that particular side. And we are also going to build a supply depot out here. And we're going to set them to patrol.
This better be good.
And I'm going to put this one over here. Should be plenty. Alright. Oh, we need to saturate this gas. There we go. And where are we at? Well, we're good with supply. We got a depot on the way. Drop a mule. Just not too hard. Alright. Third barracks is coming, and so is the engineering bay. And now there's our orbital. There we go. Build them Marines, build them SCVs. That's the routine.
Been waiting on
Alright, cool.
Gateway coming through.
And there we go. We should, yeah, we'll definitely have gas for our first upgrade when it's ready. So right now we're in 3 barracks. We're going to go up to 5,
Upgrade complete.
and then get a factory and an armory.
Armed and ready.
Transfer some of these workers,
Go ahead.
and when we land, we're going to be aiming to drop the mules as soon as possible.
In the rear with the gear.
All right,
This better be good.
cool. Reset the rally points. keep the production going and drop the mules. There it is. And also set the rally point here, like we forgot to do in a very recent game.
Not enough minerals.
There's our 4th barracks.
Not
Oh.
enough minerals.
Got our upgrade. It's going to mess up our aggression here just a tiny bit. And
This better be good.
we're going to get our 5th barracks. Factory.
Not enough minerals.
Coming through.
And as soon as we have the factory, we are going to be able to get some work done with an armory. Let's go take the middle of the map. And just in the event that we've got a Banshee thing happening, because we're not scouting when we're doing this, that is not an oversight, but rather a deliberate thing. So we don't really have the bandwidth to be doing that. And it's not really the point. There's no changes that we're going to be making to our play based on any scouting information when we're practicing like this. Alright, so
Additional supply depots required.
now we can get our... Whoop. See, and there we go. We got ourselves a Banshee. That's great. This attack is going to be wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead and just guess that this is the direction and make it happen. Alright. Where are we at? We need a 2nd refinery, 2nd engineering bay. Cool. Just come on over here. You're fine. Take some of these Marines. We'll poke them off over there. Alright. And we need to be thinking about our supply issue. Nope. Alright. Got one. Oh, there, we got ourselves tanks.
Upgrade.
That's fine. We're going to try to do some damage here and
Base is under attack.
get ourselves rolling on more
Insufficient
upgrades.
Westward gas.
And
Insufficient
starport. But
westward
we need to get our
gas.
saturation going to be able to afford all of that. Turret placement is kind of janky. So we're going to put one out here. And we're going to move most of these guys down here. Alright.
What's going on? SCV ready.
Add-on. Base is under attack.
Gangway. Coming through.
We've got Marines to deal with this. So we're going to go deal with it.
SCV ready. Armed and ready.
Alright.
Go, go, go. SCV ready.
Base is under attack.
Move it. This better be good.
Additional supply depots.
So
required.
we've got some issues, and that's alright. We're going to try to deal with it
Gangway. Coming through.
the best we can. Just placing a turret here to discourage
Numbers, boys.
any sort of entry from that path. Whoops. I did that thing. I really got to be careful with that control.
Additional supply depots.
Alright, let's go. We've got supply depot problems. We're going to get that sorted out as well. And we're going to drop some
Not
mules.
enough energy.
And yeah, depots. Alright. Floating a lot of minerals right now. That is a big
Upgrade
problem.
complete.
So we're going to add on to our infrastructure.
I can't build here.
Try to recover. We've got gas coming in again. So let's take our upgrades while we can. And wow, we're really over queuing. That's alright.
Not
There we go.
enough energy.
There's our 2nd engineering bay, which I thought was already control group, but not. Okay, cool.
SCV ready.
Got lots of Marines, and they're not going to do a whole lot of work against tanks, so we really, really, really need to have our starport in action.
Hell back.
We need those Hellbats. They're going to be really
Additional supply
handy.
depots required.
for dealing with
Additional
this.
supply depots required.
Going a little ham on turrets now that I know the Banshee threat is
Additional
serious.
supply depots required.
Alright.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Okay, so I need to get these medevacs rolling and get an attack happening and add on a factory and make sure that I'm actually getting ahead in supply, because right now I'm still way behind. Alright,
Bad news.
there we go.
Not enough minerals.
Cool. Kill the tank. Yep, alright, great. Oh, there's another one, but I can't quite click on it. Alright, that's gonna probably be game right here.
Not enough minerals. Not enough carrier.
Yeah, totally
Not
game.
enough minerals.
Alright, GG, let's get out of this and see if we got our pass or not. Tanks be reckoned. Alright. Let's see if we got our pass. Tab on out and get the upload happening. I think that I'm going to have to wrap up because I got things to do and dinner to eat. Although I just want to stream all day. That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. Alright, we're loading up our replay on GG Tracker, and let's see how we did. It's going to be close here. Alright, so we hit platinum on our spending skill, lower than normal but still passing. And our saturation speeds were good. Alright, so we got ourselves, now we've got 2 passes and no fails for step 4 of the staircase method. Let's see. My mouse was freaking out a little bit. There we go. So, what did we do? Well, this is the week of macro. Yesterday, we went into step 3 of the staircase method, and we're like, oh no, how do we spend our gas? So, we started from the beginning and put together a build where we could focus our gas on upgrades and supplement with a little bit of Hellbat play, you know, as we felt was good for our unit composition, but mostly putting that gas into upgrades. Found some timings that worked out pretty well, and then we blasted straight through step 3 because of the power of that build, and now we're on step 4. So we took that build and then said, okay, well, at the end of it, we're just going to tack on a starport and a 3rd refinery, and we should be good to go. It was a little bit wonky, and it still feels just a little bit wonky, but a lot of it is an execution type problem, right? So we're working on that. We've picked up more wins today with step 4 than we did yesterday, so that's an improvement as far as being able to utilize the resources that step 4 opens up. And we've got ourselves, wow, let's see how many attempts we've made. So that's 6, 7, 8. We've made 8 attempts, and 3 of them have been fails. So we basically reset the count. Anytime I get more than a couple of fails and it evens up, I just start the count over again, because hanging out on step 4 is whatever step, it doesn't matter. Hanging out there and practicing that over and over again is really illuminating. And I don't just mean for the core benefit of practicing the macro mechanics and measuring your progress, but also in being able to look at the units that we have available and trying our best to maximize their effectiveness, and to find opportunities to exploit the style of play that comes out of the staircase method itself. So I'm trying to do marine attacks very early, like earlier than normal timing attacks would hit. Doesn't work well against a fast tank build. Right? There's really not much I can do there with that marine push. But we saw in another TVT, once we've got those Hellbats coming in, we can load them up into medevacs and drop them on the tanks and actually get quite a bit of work done while the tanks are confused about what to shoot at. And if you drop them in a good spot, then the tanks are actually going to be splashing themselves. And we almost turned one around using some little micro like that. But those are all the little opportunities within this method to explore the game. And the biggest thing that was really awesome for me was actually sitting down and saying, I'm gonna make a build from scratch here. I mean, not totally original, of course, because there's things that I've learned through standard play, that tend to work. So yeah, we take our barracks at 12. Sure, that's a very sensible thing to do. Yeah, we take our orbital at 15. It lines up real nice. It gives us early mule, so we can get our saturation speed real nice and fast on our first base. We're taking an early expansion, right? Because we're trying to leverage the macro side of this rather than, going all in on one base. And then figuring out the timing, when to take the first gas, when to take the second one, and finding a method to have that make sense. Like, I took the approach, instead of looking at supply as the indicator of when to build a thing, just looking at, did I have the money to build a barracks? Because that's like the first step in the process of Staircase. You got SCVs in production, you got Marines in production, you got 150 minerals left over now. It's time to build a barracks. The only thing that would change that is if you're approaching optimal saturation on your mineral line. Then you float and take your second command center, right? So keeping with that, that's a very unit production oriented play, right? And we wanted to maximize that, so we're going command center first. Not first. I mean, we're going fast expand, and then pairing up the first refinery with our second barracks times itself pretty nicely with the engineering bay and the third barracks being built about the same time. So the engineering bay finishes, we've got 100 gas, we can get our first upgrade, and our first or second attack might even have that +1 attack available. Depending on the map and depending on how aggressive we need to be once we get in the middle of the map and see if there's army out there or not. So that's going to cook. Those are consonants. I'll just leave out all the vowels from now on. You guys will understand, I'm sure. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, I feel like my normal schedule for streaming Wednesday evenings is probably not going to work out, so I might be streaming during the day. So, make sure you're following to know when I'm going live. And we're going to be continuing the week of macro. I want to power through step 4 a bit and maybe do a little bit of optimization of this build. Look for moments to exploit the playstyle. And one thing I want to tell you guys about before I log off is next week I'm going to be doing some content creation off stream, which is a totally new thing for me personally. But there's a few things that I feel like that we need to open up a discussion with the StarCraft community at large. Some of these topics are the use of the word cheese. Another one would be how to engage a new player and how specifically to put them on the path that is going to be the most effective and most productive and most importantly the most fun for them as a up-and-coming developing StarCraft player, because my own experience with the community has been quite lackluster in terms of getting started on the right foot. It's taken a lot of work to weed out the things that are important for a new player and the things that aren't. And the progress that I've made has only been possible because I took the effort to weed out all of the stuff that's really just not that important to a new player. And I want to talk about that in some detail and to start a conversation about it so that we as a community can be better prepared to introduce people to the game and set them up to succeed, as a player, and also set them up to have as much fun as humanly possible while playing this amazing game. So tomorrow I'm going to be creating that content, or not tomorrow, next week I'll be creating that content. I don't know when I'm going to be posting it out, but it'll be directed at Reddit. There's a few subreddits that I think would be good for that conversation. So stay tuned, and I hope that you will go check that stuff out and contribute to the conversation when it does happen. And maybe between now and then, think about it yourself and send me a message here on Twitch, although sometimes stuff goes to my spam folder even though you're a follower. I don't understand why that happens. Or you can email me at incognitotv@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter. So if you've got thoughts about specifically engaging new players, setting them on the right track to develop their skills, and how to present that in a way that is fun, communicate with me, and I would love to hear what you have to say before I make my statements to the community. And I think that together, you know, we can help bring new players in a very warm and inviting and community-centric way. But not only that, setting them up to succeed as a player, whatever that means for them. So I hope you guys are going to have a great holiday. Whatever holiday it is that you celebrate this time of the year, celebrate it, enjoy it, but be safe, and don't be jerks with your family. It's not worth it. Just saying. Alright? So, have a good evening, and thanks for hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun, and was enabled. I will take some time tomorrow to try to see if I can't reduce the fan noise from those R9 290s that are just ripping up the airspace in here, and get that cleaned up. I've tried to use the noise gate. It didn't work very well. Even somebody that does audio engineering, I was like, this isn't working. Alright. Thank you so much. Good night.